from the Lima program, and today I will be presenting my research topic, which is to investigate the influence of sustainable marketing practices on consumer behavior towards fashion industry among consumers in Malaysia. I chose this topic is because sustainability has become increasingly important issue worldwide, especially in the fashion industry. Although many consumers are becoming more environmental conscious, but fast fashion is still highly popular. This made me wonder, if consumers are aware of environmental issues, why don't they always choose sustainable fashion products? Okay, so now I'll move on to the background. As we know, the fashion industry is one of the most largest industry, but it also one of the biggest contribution to environmental pollutions. The rise of fast fashion has caused excessive resource consumption, carbon emissions, and textile waste. To address these issues, many fashion brands have adopted sustainable marketing practices such as start using eco-friendly materials, ethical sourcing, and also sustainable packaging. However, despite these efforts, consumer purchasing behavior remains inconsistent. Many consumers express concern about the environment, but they are still purchasing conventional fashionable products. This is known as the attitude behavior gap, and therefore, in addition, the previous study has reported mixed findings regarding the factors influencing sustainable fashion consumption, and limited research has focused specifically on Malaysian consumer only. Therefore, the objective of my study is to explore the influence of sustainable awareness, price perceptions, social influence, and attitude on consumer behavior towards the fashion industry among consumers in Malaysia. Now I'll be moving on the research methodology. The study is based on theory of planned behavior, which explains that people's behavior is influenced by their belief, attitudes, and social factors. The conceptual frameworks consists of 4 independent variables, which is sustainable awareness, price perception, social influence, and attitude, and the dependent variables is consumer behavior. A quantitative research approach was adopted, and data were collected through an online questionnaire from 100 consumers in Malaysia using the convenience sampling. The questionnaire uses a 5-point Likert scale, and the collected data were analyzing using the SPSS and multi-regression analysis to test the hypothesis. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the findings. I have choose the gender, age group, employment status, and income level as my demographic as they may influence consumer purchasing behavior towards the sustainable fashion. For gender, the gender distribution can be seen that it was almost balanced with 51% of male and 49% of females. I include this as my items because males and females may have different shopping habits and perception towards sustainable fashion. The balanced distribution helps reduce the gender bias and provides a more representative sample. And for the age group, the largest age group is 22 to 24 years old, which remains 40%, and following by below 20 years old. For the employment status, mostly are students and followed by employed. And for the income level is also included as fashion sustainable products are often more expensive than conventional products. So now I move on to the statistical findings. I analyzed the relationship between 4 variables and consumer behavior. So the descriptive statistics shows that all variables have a mean scores above 3.5, indicating that respondents generally agree with these statements. Among the variables, sustainable awareness recorded the highest mean, which is 3.84, suggesting that respondents are aware of environmental issues. However, being aware are not necessarily mean that they will purchase it. So the further analysis will conclude. The regression shows that sustainability price perception and social influence has significantly influenced consumer behavior, while attitude does not have a significant effect. Among these variables, social influence recorded as the strongest impact, as the Becquerel value is 0.345. This suggests that recommendations from friends, family, or social media plays an important role in encouraging consumers to purchase sustainable fashion. Although consumers generally have positive attitudes, they do not actually, attitude alone is not enough to influence them to purchase lah. This reflects the attitude behavior gap that I mentioned just now, where consumers support sustainability but do not always take action. So the model summary achieved an R-square of 0.676, meaning that 67.6% of consumer behavior can be explained by the four variables, and the NOR result was also significant, confirming that all regression model is statistically reliable and suitable for explaining consumer behavior. In this descriptive statistic part, we also include the Cronbach alpha. My range is around 0.7 to 0.8. This is acceptable lah, and is good also, the data. And also the outlier test is included in this part, which is we will mainly focus on the Cronbach alpha and the outlier not test the Cronbach alpha and Mahanovich and the Cook distance. My Mahanovich is acceptable at 11, around 11, so means they have a strong relationship lah. And also we have two multi-collinearity tests, linearity test, and one more is normality test. All my result is acceptable except for the attitude here. It's not supported. So for the conclusion, sustainable awareness, price perception, and social influence are significantly influence consumer behavior, while attitude does not significantly affect. Based on these findings, I recommend that fashion brands to focus on three key issues, which is make sustainable products more accessibility and affordable, so it will increase the consumer will more willing to purchase it. Second, strengthen social media marketing and community engagement, as social influence was found as the strongest factors. Finally, educational campaigns should also encourage consumers to translate that awareness into actual purchasing behavior. For future research, I recommend that a larger and more diverse sample could be used, and additional variables such as brand image, product quality, or environmental policies could be explored to gain a broader understanding of sustainable fashion consumption. That is all my presentation.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
For your future studies, probably you can also include why attitude is not supported. Okay, maybe this is where you want to introduce either mediator or moderator to another variable to strengthen the value.
Stronger
the value, so that you can see what are the results that you get. And then for your population, who are your population? You said your population is in Malaysia, so that means do you cover from Perlis to Sabah, Sarawak, or
because I didn't choose a specific, I didn't conclude the state in my
so
demographic
roughly where are they from?
I think
Klang Valley.
most of Klang and Subang area, because I find my friends to fill out the form.
Okay. Alright, so I think yes. Why do you choose the theory of planned behavior?
Because this theory is mainly used to